It is time, my dudes. Oh my God, look at this one. Everything is holding on by a thread.
Oh my God, the shifter's gonna fall off.
Everyone's bike is falling apart. Looks like we got the leader of the motorcycle gang. No gas, no helmets, no insurance, no last name. You ever just want to quit your job, buy a boat, sail around the world?
Well, what if we told you that was possible?
I'm Rad.
And I'm Sasha.
With more willpower than money and a dream to become pirates,
We bought a sinking sailboat and spent the next 9 months transforming it.
into one of the sexiest boats on the 7 seas.
There is nothing that can get in the way of us sailing around the world.
So grab your popcorn, hit subscribe, and be prepared for one hell of a story.
The story of our lives.
This is the journey of Spirit Animal. Coming across the DR here, got a beautiful coastline, and let's hope a beautiful fish. Pretty close to shore, so it could be a cuda. Let's see. A little bonita. Baby guy.
Very pretty.
As hurricane season moves upon us, we are slowly making our way south. We left the Bahamas and headed to Turks and Caicos to wait for a weather window, and then made a 2.5-day sail to the coast of the Dominican Republic, where we are now.
The sail was peaceful, sometimes, scary in others, and absolutely breathtaking on occasion. But the last half really tested us and had us looking forward to pulling into a marina for some much-needed R&R. That was until we saw the coast of the Dominican Republic, which gave us a boost of excitement and the urge to explore.
All right, toss them back. We're about to get pegged by some winds right around this corner, so we're gonna have to put a reef in and go. Look at that, that looks like a face on the side of that mountain, way up top.
Oh yeah.
All right, passing the point, and the wind is about to start ripping. Time to sail.
Over the next few hours, the seas were an absolute washing machine. And then later on, as we got closer to Samana Bay, we had to throw a third reef in the main.
Got it? We are now about to turn into the bay where Samana is in the Dominican Republic. Oh, we caught a mackerel. So we have sushi for dinner.
At this point, we had been at sea for nearly 3 days and were both physically and mentally exhausted, so we could not wait to get there.
Marina de Puerto Bahia, we are coming in.
As we sailed up to the marina, it looked like an absolute slice of heaven, protected from the wind and the swell. But first, we had to dock the boat. And the only other time we reversed into a slip was 1.5 years ago when we went to haul out and I was in the dinghy.
On top of that, we just changed the prop and have no bow thrusters, but everyone has to go through it. Their first time docking at a marina. How far should I go forward? When should I turn the wheel? Should I build up speed? Everyone's looking. Is the boat gonna kick? What about the wind and current? All right, nice and steady. Give it some gas. We got 6 guys up on the dock with low expectations, judging my every move. 3 more on the pool deck with their phones out, ready to tag qualified captain. 2 pylons that are only a couple feet wider than the boat, with a concrete dock right behind that. 7 feet of solar panels sticking off the back, and a finicky throttle cable that only engages the transmission sometimes. The solar panels missed the pylon by an inch, but I still had the concrete dock. Haha, psych, that shit was easy. We got the boat tied up safe and sound, and then we became quick friends with the cruiser next door who brought us some welcoming beers.
Good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Congrats on making it to
Thank you.
Dominican Republic.
Brutal.
A quiet, relaxing, restful night on the dock is just what we needed. In the morning, we headed up to the resort to grab some breakfast before heading into town to get Raf a dirt bike. He got the invite to go riding with a group of locals from Gavi, the marina's dockmaster. However, all the bikes had some major flaws, so he had to pick his poison.
That one didn't run, that one didn't idle, I think that one's working, and that one's missing oil.
He cranked one, and the bolt for the engine block fell out. The others had bad leaks, and most of them didn't have brakes. But after weighing all his options, he chose the one he thought had the least amount of problems.
He wrote down my first and middle name, got his number, no email, no nothing. $38, let's go.
Hop on.
No gas, no helmets, no insurance, no last names. I like it. That's my style of rental service.
Raf was very excited about his new toy, but he was going to have to hold his excitement until tomorrow when he goes riding with the locals. For now, we still have a boat to put together and some projects to do before he can go have some fun. So we headed back to the marina to get some work done.
We're gonna go and take today to clean the boat. We're gonna wipe down the whole boat, do all the laundry. There's a laundromat here, which is so nice. And then we'll be able to get back to work and kind of enjoy and just have a good time. So much laundry. Everything got wet, dirty. We're gonna have a fresh boat.
While I was doing the laundry, Raf was on the boat taking care of another major project.
Project time. We have some new hatches that we're going to install. Brand new Lumar hatches. They are the same ones that we have right now without these little air vents in them. Our old ones are very leaky. A lot of the hardware is breaking. A couple of them have some big time cracks in them. And we replaced the gasket on a couple and they're still leaking. So instead of investing a bunch of money trying to fix these ugly ones up, we went ahead and bought 4 new hatches. They were actually a gift from our buddy Joel. Thank you, Joel. And we're gonna replace them right now. And it's gonna make our lives so much easier because when it rains in here, we have buckets, we have towels sitting all over the place, and it's just one of those little inconveniences that kind of add up with all the other 100 that you have going on with a boat. And so once it's nice and dry in here, we can relax a little bit more and take a deep breath. So that's what we're about to do right now.
Well, first we unscrewed the hatches.
We're at a marina right now and I really don't want to make a ton of noise, but I don't know if there's another way around this.
And then it was hammer time. This hatch was glued on with a healthy amount of silicone, which is a good thing, but it took a little extra prying to get it off.
There we go. One down.
Next, we cleaned off all the old silicone and got it ready for the new hatch. We used our mosquito screens to catch any falling debris and propped it up with the boat hook.
Now let's go make a mess.
Then we scraped off all the old silicone and wiped it down with alcohol to prep the surface.
Plug and play on this one.
Then we applied a healthy bead of new silicone, set it in place, and screwed it down.
All right, one down.
The excess silicone was wiped up with mineral spirits, and then we repeated the process with the next 3 hatches.
It is time, my dudes. Drinking some liquid crack. Compliments of Sasha. We're gonna go tune up the bike a little bit, tighten the brakes, hopefully. Might have to add some fluid. The first bike they gave me, the back brakes were non-existent. The second bike, they started up, bolts fell out, oil spilled everywhere. So we're going into the deep mountains and we need brakes. They're crucial in a bike that actually works. So this bike, the handlebars are twisted. It's definitely been wrecked a few times. The brakes were working, but on the way home last night, they weren't really working that well. So we're gonna go try to tune those up real quick. Cheers.
And I'm gonna go on a spa day. Well, I'm just gonna chill and do a little work.
Finish the episode.
Finish the episode.
Clean up the desk.
Clean up the boat.
Yeah, no relaxing when I'm gone, Sasha. All right, let's go fix this bike.
This is the dirt bike. Wait. Shake that again.
That's what my brakes are relying on. This bolt, that's the wrong bolt.
Well, yesterday you guys were trying out the dirt bikes and a bolt just fell off of one.
And they're like, it's okay. It's my front brakes, which as you can see don't work until about right there. And again, the wrong bolt. Pretty sure that could slip right out.
Better?
No, I think the bolt's stripping. Look at this, dude. Everything is holding on by a thread. Look, this is the spark plug wire. I barely touched it and it just fell off. All right, we're good. Oh my God, look at this one. There's no bolt through this chassis right here.
That's probably the one that was on the ground.
Look through here. No kickstart.
Still gonna go for it?
I'm definitely going for it, but I don't have as much confidence in the bike now.
I decided to check the oil and that also is extremely low. It's barely touching the bottom line.
That's good.
Choose your rider!
Loser.
That's supposed to be a lot cooler.
Oh my God, the shifter's gonna fall off.
And so he was off, never to be seen or heard from again. Kidding, not done yet. Subscribe.
All right, we're at the meeting spot. Gang, we're about to ride out. We had 17 confirmed. The other half are gonna meet us on the trails, but we got some sweet bikes that are about to do this trip. Got all the boys. Time to rip it.
At this point, I had no clue where we were going or what I was in for, but I felt like the newbie in the gang who had a lot to prove. I mean, these guys ride dirt bikes every day on the crazy streets of the Dominican Republic, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried about keeping up. Only one spoke English, so I couldn't understand them, but I still didn't want them saying, "Who invited the gringo?" After a few more random dirt roads, we finally met up with the rest of the squad.
Looks like we got the leader of the motorcycle gang. He's swagged out. Just got through a couple trails and we met up with the rest of the crew. We're about to go keep ripping it. Took me a second to get used to this bike. It likes to shut off if you're under 5,000 RPMs. You son of a bitch. So you gotta make sure and floor it and just pop the clutch and let her eat. So I'm excited for the rest of this trip now that I've mastered this thing. I wouldn't say I'm a master yet, but definitely getting the hang of things.
And if I didn't feel like I was in a motorcycle gang before, well, I did now.
I'm going dumb, I'm trying to live it and stunt. Get anything that I want, whenever I want. It's okay to be broke, it's not okay to be a bum. Gotta move up, I never front. I keep it 100, hun. Do it for fun, man, I do it for fun. Trying to build something, no bricks. All I do is flip this. You know how I do this shit. I'm just glad to be alive another day under the sun. You can die young where I'm from, you can get lost where I'm from. Gotta be a boss where I'm from, hey,
Hello. You're so cute. The whole gang finally made it.
So after riding around for a couple hours and covering a ton of ground, we decided to grab some lunch before we hit the hard trails. So I struck up some small talk with Gabi to try to get some info on the group we were riding with. I mean, this whole time I've been slightly on edge because I don't understand the dynamic, or better yet, the hierarchy, and I don't want to pass anyone and then feel disrespected. So I said, "How do you know everyone?" And that's when he said, "Oh, some are friends, some are co-workers, and a few it's their first time out here. We're just a group of random guys that share a common interest and want to have some fun on the weekend." And that's when I said, "Dude, why didn't you tell me? This whole time I thought I've been squatted up with a Spanish-speaking biker gang, waiting for my initiation test as we ride 20 deep through the streets, revving our engines like we own the place. I'm not gonna lie, I felt pretty invincible at times, yet slightly disposable being the new guy. So his words came at a secretive sigh of relief, and I was now looking at these guys in a totally different light. As we headed back out, I felt a little less like we were about to rob a bank and more like we were free. I could finally relax and appreciate my surroundings. I mean, look at this place. It felt like we've already rode through 7 different worlds. First, we're going through the lush jungle of Fern Gully, then we're squeaking through a deep clay ravine, onto the magical bamboo forest, and then the land of the mangoes where we're running them over like pebbles in the road. Which felt like a sin because these things are 2 for $5 where we're from. But that's DR, baby. The last true remains of old Hispaniola. The Wild West of fruit trees, mofongo, cheap prices, and añejo that flows like the Colorado River. The only place I can confidently choose a Presidente, and one of the few where you can rent a dirt bike for $38 with no brakes. We rode till our asses were black and blue and then kept on going. Nobody was gonna be that crybaby that went home first. But by the afternoon, we found ourselves completely beat up and exhausted. Luckily, there were no major injuries, but everyone had taken their fair share of spills that day. The cameras missed the majority of them, and another thing they didn't show was exactly how steep and rough this terrain was, which made mechanical pit stops a common part of the process. Chains were falling off, bikes were being towed back, my clutch was completely broken and zip-tied, my seat was being held on with a stick, and I shoved a leaf inside of my shifter in a last-ditch effort to keep it on the bike. We were all hanging on by a thread. Eventually, we found ourselves 35 miles from where we started, carrying our bikes over a 2-foot log in the middle of the jungle with a sheer drop-off on the left side. This was definitely the breaking point where everyone wanted to get the hell out of there and grab a beer. So after another hour of struggling and fixing up bikes, we eventually made it out of there, and boy was it worth it. We flew down the coastline knowing that paradise was just around the corner, and pulled into a place called Playa Rincon, where we grabbed some beers and jumped in an ice-cold spring that came off the mountain. Even though none of us knew each other before, the ass whooping we took strengthened our camaraderie and the memories will live on. But it seems as though the hurdles will too, because as we left, my starter would not engage and my Kickstarter was non-existent. So Gabi put his foot behind my bike to try to build up speed while I downshifted to try to get it going. But we failed over and over again because the sand was too soft to turn the engine over. So we kept pushing and towing the bike until we eventually found some pavement to give it one last go. And for the final time that day, we had done it again.
Thank you so much for joining us this week. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Also, we want to give a huge thank you to our patrons. You're the only reason Roth hasn't hung up the towel and disappeared from society. We'll see you guys again next week here on The Spirit Animal.